Those so-called red light cameras are not allowed here in Massachusetts. And so before any cameras go up, there's a lot of discussion about weighing privacy and bias against safety.
We're talking about people who are blowing through red lights in our communities.
State Rep Stephen Owens filed the bill that he hopes works when other similar efforts have failed. It would launch a pilot program letting 10 cities or towns install a limited number of cameras. Some drivers like the idea, others fear it's a slippery slope.
I think it's a good thing.
Why?
Because I think it will make drivers cautious and not run red lights.
I don't believe that cameras should be allowed to get people in trouble. Way too much can go wrong.
The bill is narrow-focused, aiming to prevent bias and protect privacy.
Black drivers are criminally cited 18% of the time, compared to 13% of white drivers, who are more likely to get away with a warning. This takes that away.
He says cameras would only take images of the back of the car. Drivers would not be seen. The picture is reviewed by a human being. Drivers can still contest the ticket, and fines cap at $25.
This is about safety. It's not about, treating one community as an ATM for a municipality.
Road safety advocates support it as long as cameras come as a last resort when other efforts don't work.
What it's really trying to do is change behavior. It's not about raising money. It's about getting folks to go the speed limit, to not run red lights, to respect kids when they're trying to get on the school bus.
Now, these are still just very early discussions. Any interested cities would need to submit crash data about those problem intersections first. Live at Needham, Sean Shiba, WCVB News Center 5.